corner.
Love that. I love that. Oh, at the end of it, man. It's like the mark of Saturday night. You know that we made it to Saturday night, and it's like yes.
Yeah, man, for sure. So what's up, buddy?
Not too much, man. Crazy.
How'd you make out with your Thanksgiving, man? Not too bad. I know everybody's was a little bit different and all that stuff, but hopefully everything was good.
I think it was like everybody's. A lot of people I talked to, they had the same sentiment. It was quiet. It was small.
Yeah,
good. You know, we need to do what we got to do. But yeah, it was super chill. Honestly, dude, I was loving it. I thought it was awesome. You know,
that's a lot of the other feedback I've been hearing. You know, tone down. You don't have to cater a bunch of things going on, all that. You know?
I was talking to someone. They said, you know, usually I find myself running around, and I didn't do that this year, and it was a nice treat. You know, and that's awesome to hear people say that and recognize that, like, you know, maybe it's time to slow down a little bit.
Oh, God.
Running around.
I hear you. What's up, Jeff? What's up, Brianne? What's going on?
What's up, guys? So glad you guys are back. We should have a good time tonight. We're I can't believe we're getting down to the end of the year, dude. Like, what the hell? It's just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, we had that. What I felt was like a really slow space. Hey, Nicole. Hey, what's up, Dave?
Hey, Nicole.
A very slow, like, you know, part of the year there where the shutdown happened, like getting through April. April felt like it was April, May, and June all together to me. But then things sort of just picked up, you know, summer came, we were all trying to live lives. And here we are in the middle of freaking holidays again. It's like and again, different. It's all different. You know, just different. Adjusting and creating a new normal, you know?
Yeah, it's fucking wild.
Yeah. So I'll drink to that shit.
Cheers, everybody who's tuning in tonight. Really appreciate it.
Happy holidays, everybody. Always appreciate everybody popping on.
We do. We really do. It means the world to us. I know that it's been a big part of our mental maintenance to get through these days. And it's a great way for us to promo stuff. You know, push the CKD idea and brand. And maybe push isn't the right word. Maybe it's showcase it and let people connect to it. I think
absolutely. Yeah, man. Hey, Herman, what's going on?
Herman jumped on tonight. Herman's gonna be talking to us in 2 weeks, man.
Yeah, very, very excited. It's cool stuff, man.
Yeah,
like you said, winding it down. You're coming to an end. Amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. So we did 2 weeks ago. We had Karen Ponzio on. Which was great. It was I felt like a really like super chill vibe. It was really nice, actually. I even read some poetry.
Dude, I was just gonna say that, man. You just pulled out a whole nother side of yourself live on the corner. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. It was, I mean, it's nice to be inspired by other people doing their thing. And I said, you know, I had some stuff that it sat for a while, and with certain kind of creativity, there's not sure which channel to put it out on, especially now with all the restrictions and with venues and stuff like that. You know, KP does the spoken word at a lot of the bars and stuff, and everything's just closed down. So that was great. I thought it was a really good opportunity to share some stuff like that.
Yeah, and she looked totally familiar to me. I know I've seen her at before, 100% for sure.
Yeah, definitely. The so coming on to obviously after Thanksgiving and the craziness. Thank you, Nicole.
Dapper man.
Bernie's Barbershop, so support small business. Coming right after Thanksgiving, obviously it's Black Friday, and it's like, I don't know about you, Core, but I always just said, like, the connotation, especially in the last couple of years with Black Friday, was just craziness. You know, it's like the news was like people are beating each other up with the Xboxes or whatever.
Sure. Whatever the thing, the hot item. Yeah. Yep.
Just I thought about it this year, and I wondered what it was going to be like in retail stores, if anything at all. I know that everything is in place with limiting people to come inside and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Amazon's blowing up online stuff.
Oh, I'm sure online is out of control. And I could tell you that out driving around today, I noticed that like Best Buy, whatever they were doing, excuse me, they had I don't know, the social distancing thing. There was a line though, at least I'd say 40 people outside waiting to get in for whatever they were doing. So yeah, I mean, I guess it's like hit or miss, because then I also drove by the mall, and the mall didn't look real busy for the the weekend. So but like you said, man, I'm sure online stuff's just out of control.
Yeah, and speaking of online stuff,
All
the crush kill destroy items are on sale right now. ckdclothing.com. I did 20% off of everything, the whole entire site.
Awesome.
And I'd mentioned in a post that I put up that if people hadn't been on in a while and they wanted to poke around, there's a good chance they're going to see some stuff that they haven't seen before, or maybe they didn't realize was on the site. I actually try to move the product around on the website so that if you go back into the site, you'll see something at the top of the page or something. It just kind of keeps it fresh and
Jeff.
So
yeah, a lot of places started closing on Black Friday, like Jeff pointed out.
Yeah,
a lot of places weren't opening at all on Thanksgiving Day like they had in the past, just because they realize it too. I think that people are just getting a little crazy.
Yeah, they got a little crazy.
Yeah.
So I have if I on the website, I just told you, like I said, Corey, there's a couple things on there that were not on there. Some goodies. I usually wait to do a product drop later in the night, but I'm going to be using it tonight, so I figured, what the hell, so if you go online,
hey,
new drop on the CKD website is the koozie.
Oh yeah, product placement. Perfect. Right in your hand.
If you get the right cup, maybe you could fit some hot cocoa in here. I'm not sure, but you could give it a shot. So,
maybe you might be able to pull that one off.
For me, it's going to be a coldie. So
no more brawls, Dave, in the malls. That's true.
What happened? What happened to good old brawls in the mall?
Chairs flying, fisticuffs. Let's go.
Maybe we can make that a 2021 T-shirt. It'd be like bring back brawls in the malls.
Mall brawls. We'll create a DVD set and sell it next Christmas. How's
Mall
that?
brawls, yeah. But I'm sure someone's already beat us to the punch with that stuff, and I definitely don't want to promote that. But you never know. So we're coming. This is our third to last episode of the Crush Corner for 2020.
Amazing.
CKD clothing was launched at the beginning of 2020. The Crush Corner came into fruition. I think I don't even know when we started, what month we started doing the live shows. Actually, I'm not even sure.
It might have been May.
About that time,
because we were doing them every week basically for a little while, and then we started to do every other week thing. So I want to say around May though, man, maybe.
Yeah, so we're on our 17th.
Yeah, it's amazing
episode tonight, which is crazy. 2 weeks from tonight, Herman just jumped on earlier. He's going to come talk to us. I've known Herman forever, and he's going to definitely bring a lot of positivity too. I see nothing but positive posts from him. And we were chatting the other night about some really good stuff. So I'm anxious to talk to him.
Awesome.
Again, having the platform to connect in this way, since we can't really do it in person.
I know.
It's just a good thing to have, utilizing it in the right way.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's always something to look forward to on my end, just to be able to sit down and chat. And then obviously bringing in all the different guests that range from, again, people that we've known forever to someone like tonight's where, you met through a mutual friend, obviously. And
yeah.
It's just amazing how the whole thing goes. But the one thing that's always common is the fact that, just sharing some good stuff, some good laughs, good conversation, good music. It's all awesome stuff.
And the nice thing we'll do too is, after we talk to Herman in 2 weeks, the very last episode, we're going to just do a kind of recap of 2020, which will be interesting for us and everyone that we've talked to over the last couple months. So
yeah, that's going to be great.
So I hopefully, and I was messaging and I hope that I pronounce it right, and she can let me know. Taína is here with us tonight, Taína Rosa, and I usually like to start with how I've made this connection with people that we had on the show and we talked to, and I met her in Brooklyn at a show that King Sexy played at, that Jeff Coleman, got to give him a shout out, had kind of put together, and he introduced me to the band. And again, I was saying how when you're in those situations in the gig setting, it's a lot of like, you know, setting up and breaking down and like, hey man, nice to meet you. Oh, you can use my drum set. Oh, cool, yeah. You know, and then it's like, dude, that was fucking awesome. Oh, you guys rock. No, you guys rock. And then you're like packing your shit up, and it was like, oh my god, so nice to meet you. Yeah. So that was so glamorous. Was that super fast, dude? So that was my my meeting with her, and then you know, of course, social media. We had the opportunity, especially being a musician or interested in bands like yourself, Court. Just starting to follow the band and make new friends on whatever it is, whatever platform you choose to use. And then I started to chat with her, and that's how it kind of came together.
That's so cool.
So I think what I'd like to do is actually we have some footage of
footage.
Not Invading Species, but Cojoba, which we can ask her about. So maybe we'll ask her to explain this video or bring her into the feed. What do you think?
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome, Taína.
Hey. Thank
you How are you?
For joining us.
I'm doing well. Happy to be here.
That's Corey over there.
Hi, Corey.
What's going on?
So that video, could you tell us where it's from actually? Because I didn't find any notes in the YouTube stuff.
Sure. So that was my old band Cojoba, where we played for like 20 years. We started out in Puerto Rico. So that particular video, that was during our tour. I can't remember what year it was, but that's in LA.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I think there was a note on it that said 2012. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that
could have been when it was posted, but
we toured a few times, so I can't keep up with the dates.
Wow, so you guys were together for 20 years. That's so great. Wow, that's awesome.
So crazy. I couldn't I always have trouble when I'm trying to bring like YouTube videos into like this kind of format and stuff with the audio, and then I was like, well, you know, it's punk, it doesn't need to be perfect. So but it sounds so wicked. It's been so nice to try to find some old videos of your band and listen to so much stuff. I've been listening to 2 of the Invading Species albums, and I'm just digging on them. I mean, I was so into the band when we played in Brooklyn.
Thank you.
I've been cranking it on my truck. I was listening to it on the way to work today. You know, I was like, join my cult. Super awesome.
So you are joining the cult, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I actually
got to sign up now.
I mean, half the reason why I started doing this podcast is because I was starting my own cult.
Competition.
Welcome, yeah.
Right. Exactly.
We could merge together the quarantine,
sure.
Like that.
We can consolidate.
Yeah, absolutely. Now you are originally from Puerto Rico, or?
So I was born here in New York, in Brooklyn, actually, and then when I was about 5 years old, my family, we moved to Puerto Rico, and I lived there until I started my career, and I came back to New York in 2006.
Oh wow! Okay.
I came back in 2006. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So that is one thing that I don't think I know about you, is what your career is actually. So because I haven't really.
I don't want to talk about my job.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
Well, to put it generally, I work in communications. I used to be a business journalist for a really long time. And then I went over to what journalists call the dark side, which is the side of like communications and public relations.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's enough.
No doubt.
Have a couple beers, and then I'll ask you again about the.
Yeah. Then I'll be talking about my stupid boss.
Yeah, you made a great work at home video for that.
Exactly.
It was awesome. I mean, I was sitting there and like saying to myself, like, why didn't I think of that? I mean,
the Judas Priest parody.
Yeah, it was so great. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this is just perfect.
It was based on a real story, on a true story.
Whoa!
Because I got in so much trouble at work for making videos all the time.
Oh, you can't give us just a little taste of it without elaborating on the story. Now it's kind of like.
Oh no! It was simply that. So that was back in March or April when the quarantine had started.
Yeah.
So I was working from home, so I thought, well, now I have time to do whatever I want. Ha ha ha. And so I started just doing videos every day, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll work 2 or 3 hours a day and then just go do videos. And then I'm like, oh crap, I'm behind on all this work.
Oh no. Oh boy.
I've learned to balance that out a little better.
All you have to do, it's all about the balance.
Exactly.
I mean, the whole shift has been so crazy to be in that situation. I wasn't able to work at home doing what I do, so it was like I was feeling being home. I was like, wow, like I needed to fill the space that with all the time with all this stuff that I wanted to do, and just to keep my sanity, and it was like that's where a lot of the videos that I created came from, just like yourself too. But it was like I was like I wanted to do it like all day long, and then but just because I wasn't working, it's like having a 6-year-old at home is like probably harder than my actual job. So I did have to kind of find the time in the day to do the stuff that I wanted to do, and then work. And it was like, I was creating a lot of stuff late at night. So it was just this weird shift for everybody, and Corey, you were able to work at home and continue to, right?
Yeah. Since March. Yep. Yeah. Probably, who knows till when, but yeah. Maybe into after the first quarter, maybe even into April next year, they're saying. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, it's again creating this like new normal, just trying to.
We're going to destroy the new normal.
Get through it.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm just thankful I have a job still.
Oh, I'm with you. I was furloughed and was only getting paid like 40 hours, 40% of my salary.
Wow.
For the longest time, and then it increased a little bit, and then only very recently did it go back to full. So yeah, I mean, it's just been the nature of the beast for so many. So to just have a job, yeah, I feel very fortunate too.
Yeah.
So Taína, the Cojoba is not a band anymore, or
no. So we did those 20 years, and then I was not playing in any bands for like. Well, actually, there was a transition there because while Cojoba still existed, Javier, my husband, who's also the guitarist in Cojoba and also in Invading Species, he suddenly bought me a bass. I did not know how to play a bass, and I'm like, this is a pretty bass. It's really nice, cool, so I might as well. Yeah, it's really cool.
It's really cool.
I said I might as well try to learn at least how to play it now that I have it. So I did, and I wrote a few songs, and that's how Invading Species started. So while Cojoba was winding down in a sense, this other band, Invading Species, was taking life.
Nice. So I gotta ask. So you're 5 years old when you moved to Puerto Rico. Now, I was just saying this to Jimmy before. Not that we would know because we don't live there, but I would have never really imagined there being a very big, broad punk scene there. I just personally wouldn't have. But so was all the influence from like local punk rock bands that got you going?
Absolutely. I mean, when I was first introduced to the punk scene, it was in Puerto Rico back in '91. Like I was a metalhead and all that, and metal. You know, I'm not going to say it's big because it's not, but you know, like Judas Priest has played there, and Pantera played there. You know, Metallica. They were going to play there back in '93, and then they never showed up. And we were all there at the venue, well, you know, like a coliseum, like waiting for them, and then they just don't show up, and we rioted. It was insane. It was really cool. Anyway, but in terms of oh yeah, shit went down. It was pretty cool. Like people were like setting the bleachers on fire and stuff like that. It was really cool. And it was raining. It was crazy. It was crazy, but like, we waited for like I'm going to say 4 hours, and they never showed up.
Never good. Never good.
But in terms of punk rock, yeah, there's always, well, since the late 80s, there's been an underground punk scene. And actually, Jeff, who is our mutual connection, he's actually like really important in the Puerto Rican punk scene because cheers Jeff, man, because you know, he goes down to Puerto Rico and he's like, oh my god, like the godfather of Puerto Rican punk, because he actually produced the first vinyl records for local bands back in, I'm gonna say 1990.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken, he can correct us in the comments. In the comments, but yeah, and that's, you know, that's how the Puerto Rican punk scene became known around the world.
So
I was kidding. That's so great. That's good history right there.
I was talking to Jeff the other night, and he sent this clip to me because he was like, Taína's in the sitting, and you got to hear her laugh. So I want to play it for you since you mentioned Jeff, and I think it's good to recognize what he has actually done for.
Sure.
I just want ice cream. Yellow. I want dessert. Like what my friend ate. Mantecado.
You sent that to me the other night when we were chatting, and I think it really just kind of encapsulates Jeff's energy. You know, his passion for music is just incredible, and I am grateful. It's like this. Jeff is a bridge of friendship and music, and it's like no matter what it is too, because I not only do I play with Jeff and King Sexy, but I play in a 80s metal cover band, and you know, Jeff had been not necessarily anti, you know, cover band, but he was like, I don't know. And then he would come out and see Retro Boss play, and he had an appreciation for it, and he was very, very supportive. And I think that's one thing I really love about Jeff. And I'm grateful that we had the connection with the Lucky 13 Saloon gig. And he's always just talking his friends up and like, oh, you got to meet, you know, Invading Species and Taína and Javier. And I can't remember your drummer's name. I'm sorry. Lalo. So it's just it's so cool. So I'm glad that you pointed that out, like what a big part he has in the music scene, and especially in Puerto Rico. I think that's so wicked.
Gotta say what's up to Frank.
Absolutely. And actually there was recently this guy from the Puerto Rican punk scene. He's like a professional journalist, and he wrote a book about the history of Puerto Rican punk, and obviously Jeff is featured in it very prominently. Yeah. That's I remember I met Jeff in, I think it was 91 or 92. He came to my house with a mutual friend, and he gave me these cards, like you know, like the baseball cards with the baseball players, but these were 90210. And he's like, he said something like, this is punk rock right here. And I just thought, this is so hilarious. This is great. I was like 16 years old at the time, and I'm like, whoa.
That's so great. 90210.
That's so funny.
That is great.
Oh yeah, that's the name of the book, Alcantarillados, which means sewers.
What does it mean?
Sewers. Like the sewer system.
That's so crazy. Yeah, there's of course Jeff is also a big part of the Anthrax everybody's seen. So
oh my god.
That's so great.
Seizure.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man. Yeah, so crazy.
Oh, actually, and speaking of Jeff, Maggot, his band Maggot came to Puerto Rico once. That was a riot. Like the bassist like threw up while playing. It was mind-boggling.
He's shared a bunch of stories with me, and it's like, although I really appreciate all the stories. It's so cool.
Oh God, there's some great history there.
There's another Cojoba video I wanted to ask you about. I think it's in New York, so I'm going to show it and you can clear it up. And it's got to be 2012, I think.
Yeah.
I was watching that video and I was trying to edit it and find a little clip, and I just kept making it a little longer because there's some fun stuff going on, and I was literally like watching it and smiling because it had brought back so much so many memories for me, and just that positive, fun dancing energy. So where did that actually take place?
Well, I know it was Punk Island. Was it Governor's Island, maybe?
Yeah, that's probably.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Because I think once they had it somewhere in Staten Island, I'm not sure. Probably Governor's Island. But don't quote me on that.
I think one of the one thing about that video that I really appreciate is the diversity in people that I see dancing together. And that was part of what really made me smile, and that is what I love about the scene, the music scene, and it's also what makes me sad right now because we're not gigging or doing anything. So we're doing what we can online and stuff, but watching that right there, I was just like, look at these beautiful people together dancing, smiling, having a good time, and
they really smelled so good.
I ended up coming across an 11-minute recording of you guys playing outside in Tompkins Square Park. It was probably right around the same time. And I mean, you guys are just, the energy that you guys play with is just amazing. It's really good stuff.
So
awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
How long has Invading Species been a band now?
So that's difficult to tell because I started writing the songs when I got the bass, which was 2011. And then we started like rehearsing as a band. I'm gonna say maybe a year or two after, with our original drummer. And the thing is that when we started, I couldn't play bass, the drummer couldn't play drums, so we were just learning as we went. So Javier, the guitarist, was the only one who knew actually what he was doing. So I was writing the songs, and I'm like,
That's crazy because you would never know that though. Like, you guys sound so good.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. That's wild.
But we actually never played live with that drummer, who's Glenn, who's a good friend of ours. Then he moved back to his country, Ecuador. So we had a bit of a hiatus, and then I invited Lalo, who is our current drummer. I used to play with him in another band called Artronica, which was kind of like Latin folk music mixed with punk, mixed with electronic music. And we played for a bunch of years. So he was the drummer in that band. So I said, hey, do you want to play with us? We'll be a trio. And like, yeah, sure. Like, oh, awesome. And that's when we really started playing shows. But I can't remember. I think I'm going to say it was 2015 when we started playing with him, live shows.
Oh, wow.
But I could be wrong.
Wow.
I you mentioned like the electronic music. It made me think of something because I was reading something about at one point Javier was doing like drum machine stuff for like drums for you guys, right?
Yeah. So actually, Cojoba, when we started out, we could in Puerto Rico. This was back in August '95 when we started out. We could not find a drummer to play with us because there weren't many. So he got this drum machine, and okay, so let's just program the drums. Oh, thank you. So we're like, okay, so let's just play with a drum machine, and we did. We were like that for a while until we started, we got a real live drummer. And then we kept, human drummers ever since.
Nice.
The human drummers.
We had them hostage. We held them hostage.
So coming into Invading Species, and we did King Sexy. God, there were so many good bands that night at Lucky 13 Saloon, and I know Jeff was we were all charged up about just being in Brooklyn and feeling really welcome because we were the only Connecticut band there, and everyone was really just so welcoming to us, and we really haven't stopped talking about it. Jeff talks about when things get back to normal, like there's a couple places I want to play, and Brooklyn is one of them, so it's so cool. But I have a clip that I think I took from that night, which actually has decent sound, so I'm gonna play that.
Sweet.
I felt bad because I was watching it. It was the only one that I had in my phone, and like Javier's like in the light and you can't see his face until the last second. And he's like, and I was like, oh, there he is. I remember this. But that was
no one will ever know how handsome he is.
But that was a great show. I love, like I said, I love the sound of Invading Species. Did you guys, when you formed, and who came up with that name actually?
I did. It took a while. I went through a bunch of names. I'm like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like this. But then I thought Invading Species, like, we're not from New York. We came to New York to live, so we're invading. I guess it works.
It's perfect.
Yeah. It's cool.
So aside from not gigging, there's things that are obvious that you've been doing. I was going to ask you about work at this point, but I'm not going to bring it up again. But
I'm watching. Guys.
What's up? How you doing
over there?
Cheers.
That's so great. Aside from not gigging, and then the surge of creativity with the quarantine videos, how actually, I guess in New York specifically, where you are, is there big changes with you, like with both you guys, like mentally, obviously, like what are you doing? What else are you doing to get through this stuff? So the videos obviously keep me sane and give me a creative outlet to laugh at the whole situation. But I also do jujitsu. That's my passion in terms of
and your dog does too.
And so does my dog. I force her. I mean, not voluntarily, but hey, I gotta practice with somebody.
There you go.
So are the places that you typically go? I don't know what a jiu-jitsu studio is. Does it have a particular name, the studio, or?
It's a school or an academy or a gym.
Is it I know it's closed down for a while. Is it still closed down? Are they doing any safe or social distance kind of?
Well, I mean, we have to go under the radar to train. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because that's hand to hand.
Yeah,
I'll edit that.
Yeah. I won't mention the names of my gyms. But hell yeah, I train. Hell
How long
yeah,
you been
I
training?
trained today. I actually started in May of 2019, so I'm still a white belt. I'm not claiming that I'm good at it or anything. I'm a newbie, but I'm absolutely in love with it. I love
That's
it.
awesome.
And before that, I did boxing, I did Muay Thai, I did MMA, just training. I did have a boxing match once, and I got my ass handed to me.
Oh, no.
It was a disaster, but I
Oh, boy.
loved it. I loved it. I loved it. It was a great experience.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So I'm really into the combat sports. Like, I love it.
Very cool.
You can see it show through in some of the videos that you've put together. I get, there's little glimpses of you have like the jujitsu suit on or something.
Yeah.
But has
That's
it?
awesome.
Is it? It's got to be a tool for you for coping with things and feeling.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't know how different it is in New York compared to our own experience here in Connecticut, but I would imagine it's similar across the board. I feel like you guys got it a little bit rougher, maybe because of the population and the situation with businesses closing and whatnot. But I really don't know what the comparison is.
Well, I haven't been to Connecticut, so I don't know. And I'm not keeping up with the news. But here, yeah, like rules are pretty arbitrary.
Yeah.
Like for instance, with the restaurants, I don't know if this is happening in Connecticut, but here, like in my neighborhood, we have a bunch of restaurants and people have to eat outside. And so you can't eat inside because apparently, COVID will attack you, but you can eat outside in a tent, which is closed.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
It's all very confusing.
I think our governors are actually chatting on the phone on weekends. Actually, they're kind of like, what are you doing? Oh yeah, that's cool. So what about you? What are you doing? So they're like, they're talking to each other. It seems to be like very similar. So
yeah. And then they're hitting the bottle really hard.
Apparently. I mean, come on. Yeah, I'm gonna have to drink more to make some sense of this because
fight fire with fire.
Exactly. Salud.
Exactly.
So, but on the positive side, right? Looking at the bright side of things, it's not like Europe where you actually have serious lockdowns where you cannot leave your apartment. Since March, I've been able to go to the park. I could go run around. I could walk down the street whenever I want. Here in my building, it's actually getting pretty crazy because we have a de Blasio employee here, and he's been posting these messages on you always have to have a mask on throughout anywhere you are in the building. So like if you're walking down the stairwell alone, you have to have a mask on. If you're in the elevator alone, you need to have a mask on. I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm not doing that. Like I'll wear it like if I'm at the supermarket, if I'm on a train, even when I'm training, I have to wear it. I mean, when it stays on. But like calm down, people. Calm down. There's a time and a place for everything.
Absolutely.
Those thoughts and things have obviously motivated you to start doing these videos, I would imagine, right? Because they're based basically about what is happening. When did you actually start? When did you decide like you're going to do them and you're going to start, building up on YouTube? What was the first one? Was it pretty early after like our lockdown situation in March?
So I had done some videos a few years ago, because I've always wanted to do these videos. So at first I had another computer with a really simple program, and I did a few videos, and I really enjoyed the experience. But then I didn't do any more, and then I got a Mac and I got Final Cut Pro X. But for the longest time, I didn't even learn how to use it. I'm like, this is too complicated. I don't know how to use it. But then the quarantine came, and I'm like, well, maybe this is an opportunity to learn how to use this thing. So I did a few YouTube tutorials and I learned. And then I said, okay, all right, let's do this. So the first one was in March, the last day when I was actually at work in my office. So everybody at work was like, okay, don't come to work anymore. COVID is going to kill you, blah, blah, blah. And I said, fuck that, I'm going to the office because I'm a contrarian. So I went to the office. So I went to the office to work. And I was there all alone. And I said, oh, I'm all alone. This is such a nice empty building.
Oh my God.
What can I do? So I said, I'm going to make a video. So I made a video. The very first video was in my office. Where I'm hiding under my desk, like, where's the coronavirus? Is it gonna catch me? And then that's basically, yeah. And then I went to the bathroom and I hid in the bathroom, like, oh my God, the coronavirus is gonna get me. So I went to all the first places in the office, and I'm like, oh, the coronavirus. So that was the first video.
So now, are you at this point? Are you using your phone to take the video actually, or you're all by yourself? You're setting it up. So I think that's where, like, watching the stuff that you've done, that's where I had the appreciation for it, which is what grabbed me, and I started watching them all because I'm doing the same thing when I was putting my videos together, and like my wife is like, she's like looking out the window in the backyard, and I'm like running around and like doing, like, and I was like, don't, like, I came in, for example, I came in the house with one of the videos I made one day. I had trash bags on over me with gloves and like a cutout thing and a shield. And I was like, whatever you do not come into the garage. She just looked at me like, oh my God, you know, and I was making some wacky, like, you know, quarantine type related video. So I want to show you sent me a couple. I want to show the first one and then we could talk about it. I think this is so great in the scheme, in the timeline. This is probably one of the earlier ones, so it's probably a good place to start, and then we can talk about it. And here we go.
I'm a responsible citizen, stacked up on food for the quarantine. I don't want to starve, I will survive. I don't want to starve, I will survive. But that food kept calling me, preservatives and calories. Took one bite and I couldn't fight. I ate all the food on the first day. I ate all the food on the first day. I ate all the food on the first day. I ate all the food on the first day.
That's so great. It's just awesome.
I love your commitment to making these things, you know, because it's the behind the scenes stuff that I could appreciate when you're done and you're covered in like
gunk. Like I had olive oil. And that's what I was pouring on myself, olive oil.
And that inspiration though, like where does it come from? Like to do that, like to just start pouring olive oil on yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like
well,
where does it come from?
I mean, the exactly. I just want to get messy, man.
Yeah.
Let's make a mess. But the thing is, like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't take a whole bunch of creativity. All you have to do is like, okay, so what's going on? Oh, so people are going crazy, like buying food and stocking up because we don't know what's going to happen at that time. Like, we don't know, are we going to get a lockdown Europe style where we can't even go out at all without the permission of the police or whatever? Or are we just going to be able to like hang out, or what's going to happen? So I'm like, okay, well, let's make a video about stocking up on food. And you know what happens when you stock up on food for an emergency? You eat it all.
Oh yeah, anxiety, stress eating, all that craziness starts to set in, and it's just there, and you're like, mwah.
I was like, I didn't know what else to do. I'm like pacing around the backyard, and I'm just like, you know, opening the cupboards, and there's shit. Like my wife bought so much cool stuff because it was a big stock up, like stuff I'd never seen. She was being so kind to me because she's vegetarian and my daughter's vegetarian, and she was coming home with like cans of chili, and I was like, oh my God, what? I'm like out in the backyard on the fire pit, I'm cooking chili, and I was like, this is awesome. And then, like, I haven't eaten meat in a while, you know, just to be respectful. So I totally get it. But that video cracks me up.
Oh, so great.
No, and the thing is that I'm usually a pretty clean eater, so I won't eat like processed foods or anything like that. But I mean, you can't stock up on like fresh vegetables.
No,
it's not, it's gonna rot. So
Oh, yeah.
so we had to buy all this like packaged foods, and I started eating all that, and I'm like, oh man, this is not gonna end well.
Your body was probably like freaking out. It's like putting
I gained a few
like,
pounds and everything. I'm like, oh, this is not good.
Well, like, well, I don't know, Jim, if this is one of the videos you grabbed, but you seem to have taken that theme. I think it was the video "Thick," if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Did you see that one, Jim?
My
That's
ass grows.
You're
It's one where
yeah.
I start eating carbs, and I just have a different experience in life because my ass just keeps getting bigger.
It's so
Literally.
funny.
I gotta watch that one.
You have to
really
watch
funny.
that one. Thick
It's
as
a trap
brick.
song, actually. It's a trap song. I don't only do rock and roll.
So now, when you put the songs together for the videos, is Javier writing the riffs or anything, or are you writing, or you
So
writing?
I write the lyrics, and sometimes I'll come up with like the melody, and he'll do the entire song.
Nice.
He's like, he does the guitar, the drums, everything, the whole thing.
That's awesome.
When you do need someone to do some video, take some video for you, is it Javier as well helping you out, or?
Yes, and he also helps out with some props. So we have one video, for example, that is called La Máscara, the mask, and it's just me trying on all these ridiculous masks. One of them is actually his underwear. I just put his underwear on my face.
I saw that one.
It was clean, okay? Like let's
That was gonna be my next.
She has
my
like
next question.
cellophane too. Didn't you do like something clear?
yeah, cellophane, like a helmet made out of aluminum foil.
Yeah.
Yep. So he'll help me out with some props.
Nice.
That's super cool. So I mean, a lot of bands, and it's it's somewhat related to what you're doing with the videos now, because there's music involved and you're writing and stuff. A lot of bands actually find that they want to bring humor into their music. There's a lot of punk bands that they do. I mean, King Sexy, there's some songs that are fun and funny. Do you find, like, for yourself, is it something that's kind of come naturally for you, where you're playing or you're writing stuff and you're kind of chuckling, like, oh my god, I'm gonna write this lyric down, like it's because it's music, it's a good time and it makes you feel good. Like, I don't know if that's your
So the weird thing is that for Cojoba and for Invading Species, where I also write all the lyrics, like Cojoba especially was very political. It was a very political band. And Invading Species is more like satire, but it's not meant to be necessarily funny. Some songs like Join My Cult might sound funny, but there's an underlying message there. But for the quarantine videos, I don't care. I just want to make fun of everything. Like, nobody is safe. I will make fun of you. I don't care. I'll make fun of myself if I have to. I don't care.
Which is great. I mean, if we can't do that, it's like, you can't make fun of other people. You have to be able to laugh at yourself. And it's like, I mean, I'll make a little a video. Like I did the Tyson thing quick this morning.
That was great. That was amazing.
I'm like grabbing my wife. I'm like, you gotta. She's like, trying to get my daughter some snack or breakfast, and I'm like, you gotta see this. She's like, would you wait? I'm like, no, you got. Like, oh yeah, that's really great, Jim. Okay, let me finish it. But she appreciates it too. But I get it though. It's just so funny, to laugh at. Speaking of satire, I want to show another video, and you can talk about it.
Let's do it.
This one's really great, and all of these, I got to tell you, the songs, putting them into this format, editing, listening to them a couple times, I find myself, I'm going to to work, and the songs are in my head, and I'm like singing, and I'm like, oh my god, it's stuck in my head.
Oh, I'm gonna be doing working from home. I'm gonna be doing that every day now for like ever.
They're more contagious than COVID-19.
That's a mic drop moment right there.
Look at this one. I love this one too. The end of this just cranked me up.
I'm a red-blooded American, red-blooded American. I love my flag and defend my freedom. Support my president and speak American. I am the Rambo of COVID-19. No communist suppressing me. I'm a red-blooded American. the USA. Look at me wrong and I'll call the cops. I don't care if you get shot. I'm a red-blooded American. Red-blooded American. That Goya dude, he is no fool. Now I'm gonna season my food.
That weird dude who isn't.
Oh,
Now
I love it.
that's the epitome of satire, like you were saying about invading species and having the underlying message, which I get it.
Well,
But,
I mean, being Latin, you know, the Goya thing was like a huge thing with all my friends. My Facebook was blowing up like, Goya out there. Like, you think Goya was like doing some community service at some point in the past 100 years? What's well, anyway, so.
Nicole brought something up too, because I got a kick out of it too.
Yeah, the cap guns.
It's
Yeah.
I think the cap guns, they're actually enhanced by the lyrics that are like, I don't care if you get shot. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, I'm gonna call the cops. I don't care if you get shot. Because that was also something that was going on at the time. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I think that's when the guy in Central Park, he was jogging, and then this lady called the cops on him for no reason.
Oh, the
So,
bird
and he's-
watcher.
Yeah, and then he's like, you know, you do this, you could get somebody killed. So
Frank.
I made a joke of it.
Frank wants to know
Hey.
if the video was about him. I don't know. I
You
do.
crushed it too, because that was just spot on, perfect.
Thank you.
It really was.
Yeah, I love the fire at the end, shooting out of your mouth.
You know, true story. I was supposed to like make believe that I was drinking the adobo, but I
Oh.
actually drank it by mistake, and then I was like,
I'm glad that you
Yep,
brought that up,
spicy.
because I watched it a couple times and I was like, did she put something else in the container?
Right.
And I'm like, oh man, thinking like, so
I drank that adobo.
that's
Yep.
like you're really getting into character. You're just committed and passionate about
She's
me.
very committed.
Absolutely, I should get like an Oscar or something.
At least a nom. You
At
need a
least.
nomination.
At least.
Absolutely.
At least.
Absolutely. Yes.
It's the easiest way to watch the videos. Is it YouTube is probably the easiest way to get to the is this correct? Quarantine videos on YouTube, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And you know, I mean, subscribe, watch my videos over and over again. One of these days I'd like to quit my job and live off of YouTube. It's never gonna happen, but hey, a girl can dream.
That's where it all starts with a dream. Let's go.
You never know. You never. It could happen. You never know.
You never know.
What was the well? I mean, you're picking. You have these elements through the videos. Obviously, that was you're poking fun at these kind of blatant things that are happening and or happening at the time. Probably still happening. Obviously,
Yeah.
That's really the motivation is just to be like to make it ridiculous, because there is a lot of ridiculous shit going on, and then to be able to step back and laugh at it.
I mean, some things you don't even have to exaggerate, because in real life they're so ridiculous that
is true.
you don't. You know, the jokes write themselves. Actually, I don't
Yeah.
even have to be that funny. I'm still like, well, this is what's happening. It's more of a documentary, and it just happens to be funny because it's just actually so ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah, I think George Carlin, kind of made that point when he was doing his stuff. He just said that he was a commentator. He observed things going on, and the way that he delivered it was through his stand-up comedy.
Right.
And it's pretty much what you're doing. So it's I commend it. I love it.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it's basically reporting in musical form.
Yeah.
Which is where
It's
you're
like theatrical. It's almost like watching what's that movie? God. Oh, it'll come to me.
Damn it, Corey.
It'll come. It'll slowly creep its way in.
Yeah, when you're not thinking about it, boom, it'll pop up.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Ah.
That's the movie I was thinking of. That theatrical.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's so
Yeah,
cool.
over the top, just exaggerate everything.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean, it has to have some kind of again, it's got to help you. I mean, I found like doing all these things and just create, the creativity aspect as a musician, especially in you guys. Does Invading Species tour pretty regularly or gig out pretty regularly?
No, we've only played New York. We've only played New York.
Oh wow.
We actually well, no, actually that was Cojoba. We had an invitation to go to Puerto Rico.
Okay.
It would have happened in October, but then COVID came and ruined all those plans. We would have gotten together with our guys in Puerto Rico, like put the band back together for maybe 1 or 2 nights, but that didn't happen. And with Invading Species, no, we've only played New York.
Oh, wow.
And one of the reasons why we don't tour is because I have a dog that I really love, and I could never leave her with anybody, that I don't know, because I don't have anybody that could take care of her that I would
totally
trust.
get it. Yeah,
So,
I get it.
Yeah, but she's a badass because she knows BJJ
and she
can
beat
do
me.
damage.
And she beat me.
She did?
Wow. In that
I'm telling
video, she
Yeah.
totally kicked my ass.
Yeah, she's got some moves.
She's got moves. I mean, hey, that's actually, I think the other day I was on YouTube and that video popped up and I noticed that it had like 5,700 views.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, who's sharing this? It's my most watched video. I'm like, whoa, what?
It's very cool. You get the moves. You're like,
Yeah, and it's all just me like, just throwing the dog around and the dog getting mad at me.
and you're all suited up. You got the gi going on. You're all ready to roll.
Yeah, and then there's the second part, which is the no-gi part, where it's just like, spandex and exercise clothes, which is also a real thing. It's also a real thing. And yeah, but anyway, like
So
that's the most watched video. I can't believe it.
Spandex and exercise clothes is a real thing in what aspect?
Because in jiu-jitsu you have the traditional like kimono, but then you also have the one where you're just wearing like a compression shirt and pants and
okay.
So which is more like it's really cool because it's a lot faster and it involves a lot more wrestling, catch wrestling kind of, which oh my god, it's really cool. But hey man, let's not talk about that because I'll have you here all night.
We're kind of used to it. We have the tendency to just kind of rock on all night long. So
yeah, we just go and go and go.
All right, cool. I just need somebody to bring me another beer.
Ooh.
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, please.
Yeah, I don't want to just leave you guys and just get myself another beer. See if my dog will do it.
We're pretty.
Ooh, that'd be a neat trick.
That would be awesome.
I need to teach my dog how to fetch beers.
Yeah.
Well, my daughter can do it, but I don't know how I feel about it. But she's willing and stuff. But I feel
Teach them young. Teach them young.
She will, Like, I mean, I've been out with her, for dinner. We go out to dinner. She's like, oh. She's like, drink your beer, Dad. Drink your beer. She's like, picking it up and giving it to me. I'm like, I'll drink it. It's cool. I don't know.
I saw it on the video.
Oh, hey, look, it worked. I got I got a fresh beer. Javier's watching the video in the other room, so he knows
what kind of beer are you drinking there?
Oh, it's embarrassing, man. It's Coors Light. I mean,
it's okay.
That's a go-to.
That's what people who train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu drink.
Exactly.
That's what it is. I get it. No explanation.
I thought ideally I should go to the supermarket and get myself some Puerto Rican beer, which just arrived in New York a few months ago.
What is it?
It's called Medalla, which means medal. And it's the most watered down, low carb beer ever. Yeah. But it's one of my favorites because it's so watered down and low carb. Yeah. Because I'm such an athlete.
Nice. There you go.
So anyway, this is second best in terms of low carbs and water to beer ratio.
100% agree.
It's beer, man. Whatever.
I think we saw the guns in the Red Blooded American video, and you're like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Also, one of the I got a kick out of one of the punk. I think it was the first punk shit punks do or shit
punks say, pendejadas que dicen los punks, but because it's in Spanish.
Yeah, was there a friend of yours in the video as well?
Yes, so she's Jadi. She is the singer of a band called Ratas en Celo, which means rats in heat.
Oh, I love it.
Yes, they're a really cool band. I highly recommend that everybody check them out. They're all girls, and they have an accordion.
Oh wow!
An accordion player.
An accordion.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very near and dear to my heart. That was the first instrument I ever played in my life. So,
like a good Italian.
Yeah, it's actually hanging up. I would turn the computer, but I can't. It's hanging up next to me in my little studio down there. So yes, I did. I grew up in a big Italian neighborhood, and all the boys played accordion in the neighborhood, and I heard it. I was 8 years old, and I was like, "What is that?" You know, and
they're playing Santa Lucia. Santa.
Yeah. my mom was like Irish and French Canadian. She's like, "You gotta play When Irish Eyes Are Smiling for me." Yeah, it's incredible. So I love the accordion.
Nice. Well, you'll love that band then, because it's like accordion, but they're like a punk band, and it's just really fun. It's so fun.
That's cool.
I'll send you a message so you could remind me about the name, so I could check it out and look it up.
Ratas en Celo.
Ratas.
That's right, Mike.
Celo.
I know.
So somebody up here speaks Spanish. Javier, can you put that in the comments?
Oh,
are you there?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Is he there?
Herman was. I think Herman was.
He was.
Can you write Ratas en Celo in the comments so they can see what the
Mike
band
speaks Spanish.
is like? Okay.
No, he doesn't.
No. Awesome.
Javier's gonna put it in the comments, I think. So you can check those girls out. Oh, and the singer also, so she also has her own YouTube channel where it's called Comics by Jadi.
Okay.
And there's the name.
There it is.
And so she has also her own. I can hear you. Yes. Awesome. so she also has her own YouTube page where she does comics. And you should check them out. They're really funny.
That's awesome. I was watching. Jeff had given me a DVD, a compilation of Puerto Rican punk bands and I think hardcore and metal and stuff. And I was watching it earlier today. But it's just so cool to see the DIY stuff come together in any form, cassette and record and DVDs, and I just love that. I appreciate it. It's what I'm doing now with the Crush, Kill, Destroy stuff. It's literally I call it the CKD bunker. It's my basement which has turned into this printing studio where I create everything, and I have my DVD player down there so I can watch cool music videos and stuff as I'm working. So it's super cool.
Yeah, and Puerto Rico, the cool thing about the Puerto Rico punk scene is that it's so varied, and it always has been. Like sometimes I know that I've traveled extensively and been to punk shows in many different countries, and sometimes you'll find that certain scenes only have like one type of subgenre. Like for instance, okay, so we'll only play grindcore, which is fine. It's amazing. I love it. But when you have a show with 6 bands and they all play the same, it kind of gets like, oh, come on, man. So in Puerto Rico, the thing is that there's all sorts of different styles, different subgenres, and you can all see them. You can see them in one show. So that's really cool about Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that's killer.
I think that's what's great about some of the. It's funny you should say that too, because I think some of the shows that Jeff has lined up here for us seem to have this diversity too, where there's
that's true.
A metal band, Kink Sexy, which is garage punk, pop. Like rock and roll. We're our own thing. some other really heavy stuff, and then it could be a cover band too, all combined into one show. And I think that's what's really beautiful about that, because it brings out all different kinds of people,
and it's
then
more fun.
it's totally more fun. I don't want to I don't want to hear like 3 hours of grindcore. I'll jump out of a fucking window. It's
yeah, or even if it were like 3 hours of, I don't know, pop punk,
right,
whatever. I mean, one band is fine, two bands are fine, but like you're gonna be there for what, 5 hours? You know, bring in different audiences, like different people, and get them together, and
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So, because you've done some traveling and you have seen a lot of bands in different areas, do you find that there's like some of these bands, or even maybe for you guys, or going back when you were younger, were there bands that really influenced you? American bands or European bands or whatever, was there, or do you find across the board that there's always this like handful of band that's like, the Sex Pistols, or like some of the maybe, I don't know if obvious is the right word, but obvious punk bands, or that kind of, or do
like the classical punk bands, like the starter punk bands.
Right. you find that the local bands are definitely influenced by that, or is it deeper than that, where there's like, no man, we've been listening to this band all our lives, and there's someone maybe you've never heard of before, or something like that, you know what I mean?
So, well, in Puerto Rico, I would say that there's a lot of influence. I mean, I haven't been to Puerto Rico in a while, so I'm talking from my experience when I lived there. I know that Spanish punk rock from Spain, because here Spanish is used to identify everybody who's from Latin America and Spain, which is weird to me because I'm not Spanish. But like punk rock from Spain, like for instance, La Polla Records, Sin Dios, those bands which are like huge in Latin America. So they've been a really big influence in Puerto Rico. For me personally, I've always loved bands with women singers who sing. So for instance, my first influence was Lunatics. Like Tio from the Lunatics. Like
right on.
When I got that Binge and Purge record, I was like, I'm in love. I was like, I could not believe that. Oh my God. So women can actually sing in punk, like really sing. I'm like, oh wow, this is so cool. And then another band from Europe that I actually know them personally, and they've been playing for the same amount of time. They're like contemporaneous with Cojoba, is La Fracción, from Paris. Oh my God, you have to hear this girl sing. She's like, if you like a French chanson style, you will love this band.
Nice.
You'll love this band. And then I follow a lot of like female singers from like Sweden, like Burning Kitchen from Sweden. Now they have another band called Husvaraer, which I think means 7 hard years. I think they're still playing. There was this band from Denmark called Gorilla Angreb, which I think means angry gorilla. But the girl actually sings really, really nice. So there's all these bands that I really love. And those are like my main influences. And of course, if you want like the starter punk bands, like Glenn Danzig is one of my favorite singers in the world. I don't care if you hate him. I don't care if you love him. It's not my problem. I love every single Misfits and Samhain, I think you pronounce it, album. I am obsessed with. I don't care.
No, it's a classic stuff right there.
Yeah, it's so. I saw Glenn Danzig on the West Coast in California at this huge tattoo convention. It was a Musinc. It was like tattooing and like bands playing, so it was pretty wicked.
I actually saw him at the Sting in New Britain.
Oh, I saw him at MSG not long ago when they played it.
Oh, that's the reunion, the Misfits. You were there.
I mean, that's like it's now or never. I'm never going to see this guy. He's going to die. And
well, our friend Dawn, actually, Dawn is in Brooklyn. Dawn Eldridge. She's a huge Misfits fan and Danzig fan. She was there for that, and I remember her just being so excited for it when it came out, and she was able to get tickets and all that stuff. That's awesome.
I think it's so awesome and great to bring up female fronted bands, especially. I mean, I've always appreciated it not only in just rock and roll and punk and metal maybe, but in any kind of music. And now, especially having a daughter who has shown this interest in music, and she's been exposed to a lot of as a 6-year-old pretty good music. So she digs, like, you know, Bikini Kill. So she likes
nice.
Rebel Girl, which I'll have to send you if I hadn't shared or you hadn't seen it. I can show you some pretty incredible videos of her, because we had a Twisted Sister themed birthday party for her because she's a huge.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it was awesome.
She's pretty bad. She's pretty
oh my
bad.
God.
It's something I couldn't believe, and I'll have to send it to you. But it's important for me as a parent, having just my daughter and seeing. Really seeing women get up there and just kick the shit out of music, especially because
No. Sorry, I'm being interrupted.
Oh
No.
As long as it's more beer, it's totally okay.
Yeah, more beer.
That wasn't beer.
Oh. Oh no!
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, hey man, this is video, yo. No, leave me alone. No.
I'm
straight edge. I'm straight edge.
I can hide it for you. It's okay. We can hide it.
Roy made an appearance.
You can just hide it. So I want to show another video. Let's see. I did. Oh my goodness, where is it? Okay, so you mentioned this one. Oh, actually, this is not the one. There's one that you have all different masks on. Yeah. But you sent me Wear a Mask, which I just.
Oh, this is the grindcore song.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And this is you singing.
This is me. Yep.
I don't know if you saw this, Corey, but it's.
I don't think I have.
So let's watch this one.
I'm anxious. Woo!
There's a story behind that. So I was going to one of my jiu-jitsu gyms, and I was on the train. I'm wearing my mask, like everybody's like, you know, being cool about that. But one girl, she got distracted and her mask came off. So it was just like, you know, lying on her chin. And this old lady comes in and starts, wear your mask! Wear your mask! And she starts causing havoc. And this poor girl's like, oh, okay, whatever, okay. So I'm like,
oh my God.
There it is, my next video.
Right on, Frank.
The hair and the sweater is just
everything. Don't
what was it like to sing like that? Because, you know, obviously you're not doing it consistently in the music that you play with Invading Species. So were you like, well, okay, I'm good for just doing it like that? Because that's got to be tough. Is it?
Oh, I could only imagine.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I can actually sing like that, but I don't. But just because I'm stubborn. Because so like I've had guys come up to me, guys who are, you know, they're nice and they don't mean any harm by saying it, but they're like, you know what? Because sometimes when I'm playing with Invading Species, I'll be like, you know, in the middle of a song or something, just to like you know, just for shits.
You gotta get it out.
Oh
yeah, just to get it out. And then like, you know, I heard that growl that you let out, and like you should sing like that. You would like a lot more people would come to the shows. And then there's 3 guys, and I'm like, well, I don't want to because I can sing. So why would I do that? Let everybody else do that.
Was it
absolutely
singing for you something that you just were doing as a younger, like as a kid, and then, or was it something that you did in school, or you just started singing and said, I could sing, I'm going to do this in a band? Or,
you know, it's so interesting because my thing was, as a kid, was always acting. It was never singing. But then when I was like in 6th grade, I was pushed to sing in my graduation, and I didn't want to. I'm wow. I don't want to sing. This is not my thing. I mean, I did it in the end, but I was like petrified, nervous. I was like, oh my God, this is the worst experience ever. But then like throughout my life, I had people like saying, you know, you have a good voice. Why don't you just sing? And I'm like, but I want to act. I don't want to sing. So like people like, especially my guy friends, they were in you know, before I was even in the punk scene, like with my metal friends, they were like, oh, Taína, let's start a band and you'll be the singer. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And actually the first band I was ever in, I used to scream. I was like, ah! You know, because my influences were like DRI and Cryptic Slaughter. So, you know, and my first band when I was like 15 or 16 years old. Yes, yes, love it. So that's what we were emulating at that time. And then from there, you know, things just like I always came back to being the singer, the vocalist of bands.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, but it was never my intention to actually be a singer. It's like I was never interested in it.
Because you can sing.
Was there a point where you so maybe being younger, you said you got pushed into it, you wanted to act and you were uncomfortable maybe to get up? When was it really comfortable for you, especially in the beginning of being in a band that played in front of the crowd? Was it early on? Were you cool with it, or was it something you had to kind of break into and then kind of relax and do your thing up there?
I mean, I was always, you know, it was an honor that my guy friends would invite me and say, hey, Taína, we think like you would kick ass at doing this. So, you know, join us. And I'm like, yeah, sure. So for my first band, like we did a few shows back in Puerto Rico, and I was like this little kid and whatever. But you know, I thought, hey, you know, this is pretty cool. I don't suck at it, so it's kind of cool. And then with Cojoba, that's when I felt really comfortable with it.
You kill it.
I love the, I don't know, you know, do you listen to, and I think she's in New York actually, Karen Crisis.
Oh, that's a band from a few years ago, isn't it?
Yeah, she's not.
Yeah, she had this band. Oh,
she's not doing Crisis anymore. I think she has oh shit, something of the Witches, and I feel bad, I can't remember. But Karen she has that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I remember there was this song that they had. I cannot remember what the title was, but it was like, and then she would sing, and yeah.
So I saw Karen play in the Toad's Place in New Haven. She opened up for a band that I was going to see, and I'd never seen Crisis before. And here's this girl. She's probably, you know, 4 foot something. She comes out with these like big wings, like strapped to her back.
Oh damn!
And she's like, you know, she's got dreadlocks. She's an attractive woman, and she just comes out and she's like, you know, like
come on.
You're wearing the same compilation with Karen Crisis.
We were actually, Javier just reminded me, Cojoba was on a compilation with Crisis.
Oh,
this is where I know the song from.
Okay. Yeah.
And I cannot remember the name because, beers. But
Beers.
do you know what
Tomorrow.
compilation it was?
That's awesome.
No.
Cry Now.
Oh, Cry Now, Cry Later.
Cry
That's
Now.
the name of the compilation, and it was done in
Oh, yeah.
California. California. This is back in the
Yeah.
90s for sure.
Yeah, that's
I wonder
familiar.
if Dodge had anything to do with it.
Huh.
Chris Dodge.
That's familiar though. Yeah, that's
Yeah, the Spaz guy.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Well, hey, I'm a follower of Crush, Kill, Destroy, and the Crush Corner. Hey,
And we thank you. Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna look into that, see if I could find more about the compilation. That's awesome.
Yeah. So,
But I actually,
Yeah, that's very cool. You have to look into that.
in the same vein, and with that thought in my head, I actually appreciate what you guys are doing now with Invading Species, because it's I love your vocals over the. I mean, you definitely consider yourselves a punk band, right?
yeah, absolutely.
It's like I dig it so much. Corey and I were I was telling Corey to check stuff out. Like I said, I was listening to it. I've been listening to it. I was listening to it today on the way to work, and I was like, yeah, I fucking dig this shit. So it's so good to have that melodic
Awesome.
voice over that. It's just it works. It's awesome. So
Yeah, and it doesn't. It's not very often that you find it. Thank you. It's not, because as I've said before, and people always want to push you to do like the style nowadays more.
yeah,
They want you to do the growly vocals, and which is cool. I'm not dissing the growly vocals. I think it's awesome, but let's have some variety. And if I can sing, why not?
Did you find more of that style or that kind of music in Puerto Rico? Like it was, if you were going to see bands that were female fronted, was it more of that as opposed to the growly, screamy type stuff?
Yes, definitely. Like the girls, maybe it wasn't like kind of singing, but the growly thing wasn't in my time back in before 2006.
I feel like that's maybe an influence or an element that you bring from there into the more local scene in New York or Connecticut or whatever. But so it's to me it's a fresh thing. It's like I don't want to hear the screamy stuff all the time. I appreciate it too, but I think
well, there's a certain uniqueness to your voice for sure. Because like you said, if you were to like have the band start to play, right? And then you're waiting for the next thing to come with the voice, you'd probably think it's going to be like this, but it's not. And that's what's really cool about it. It's like, you're
thinking in like traditional.
Awesome.
Exactly. Because you're playing with all these bands who are like, and then here comes little old me.
Well, and I gotta say, and then there's, but then you're ripping on the bass, and that bass looks like a violin with a really long neck. What kind of bass is that? What brand is that?
It's a Hofner.
Okay.
Whatever, however you pronounce that.
I think it's so cool.
Yeah, when you guys got on stage, it was one of the first things I noticed because the shape is so unique. It's so wicked looking. I was like,
it looks like a violin or a viola or something.
Yeah, I like it. I like it because it's pretty. But the thing with that bass is that everybody's like, oh, you've got Paul McCartney's bass, and I'm like, no, this is my bass.
Yeah, my bass.
This is mine.
No.
You have this is I think it's actually a great opportunity to play the last video that you sent me, and especially thinking about singing and different kinds of music and stuff. And I love this video and I hate it at the same time because it's the one that you sent me that I literally bounced around the house and I was like, I couldn't get the song out of my head, and it's hilarious. Yes. And I think I was singing it, and my wife was like, what did you just say? So I'm gonna play the last one that you sent me. I love it, and then I definitely have some questions about it. So
okay, here we go.
There we go.
Cumbia with a serpent penis. Astral sex with a serpent penis. Invade your soul. Invade your soul. While you sleep. While you sleep. Invade your soul. Invade your soul. Gives you disease. Gives you disease. I chop it. I chop it. I cut it. I cut it. I chop it. I chop it. I cut it. I cut it. I chop it. I chop it. I cut it. I cut it. I cast the serpent out. Astral sex with a serpent penis. Astral sex with a serpent penis. Invade your soul. Invade your soul. With demon. Invade your soul. Invade your soul. With COVID-19. COVID-19. I chop it. I chop it. I cut it. I cut it. I chop it. I chop it. I cut it. I cut it. I chop it. I chop it. I cut it. I cut it. I cast the serpent out.
Yeah, that is some stuff.
So that was it's a very catchy tune. And I found myself,
Get the hips
astral
wiggling.
sex with the serpent penis. So I know the beginning of it. What's the first two words? I don't know how to say it.
Astral sex.
No, yeah, cumbia dark.
Oh,
Is that?
cumbia dark.
So cumbia is that a dance form or
It's a Latin American music style.
So is that the rhythm throughout the song? Is that
Yes,
considered
it's
cumbia?
cumbia.
Okay.
Mhm, yeah.
So
It's more from like Colombia, Peru,
okay.
Mexico. But the thing is, in Puerto Rico, we growing up, I never heard any cumbia. I never heard any cumbia because we just don't have it. In Puerto Rico, it's more like merengue, salsa.
Okay.
But you never hear cumbia. I don't know nowadays. Maybe you do.
Right.
But I actually learned about cumbia when I moved to New York. Because all my friends are like Peruvian and Colombian and like from South America, and they love cumbia. Cumbia's everything. So, so if, for the quarantine videos, I want to try every single music style that exists.
Yeah.
And cumbia was definitely on my list. As paying homage to my friends.
There you go.
What was
so I had to do my research.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's awesome.
what was the when did it hit you when you were like, yeah, totally astral sex with a serpent penis? Okay. What was, because you make reference to COVID-19 at the end of it, so I'm
Absolutely.
okay.
So there's a doctor named Stella Emanuel. You can look her up. So she was part of this group of doctors that was like pro-Trump in the sense of like using hydroxychloroquine and zinc
Oh yeah.
to cure COVID-19 in
yes.
its early stages.
Yes.
Which sounded like, for somebody who has no medical degree like me, like, okay, if a doctor's saying it, that sounds completely reasonable. But then when you did the research on who this lady was, it turns out she's also a minister.
Right.
And she has like the Ministry of Fire, or something like that. And she's like batshit insane.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad. Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up because I remember exactly when all that came out in the media, and it was like, what the fuck? There was a clips of her doing shit with the snakes or whatever, and I was like, oh my god. So okay, that's
so like her whole like the lyrics of the song are literally lifted from her sermons. Like she is talking like literally. I did not write the song. Stella Emanuel did. So I watched a few of her sermons, and in one she's talking about, because remember she's from Nigeria, I think, or somewhere in Africa. So her religion, it mixes Christianity with like, I don't know what to call it. I don't want to insult anybody, but it's like, demonic stuff, superstition and whatever. So she's talking about this, and it was a really cool sermon, ridiculous as it was, in my opinion. But it was like, so when you're in your sleep, demons can have sex with you.
I remember that. Right.
And that is how you get COVID-19, among other things. So the way to Watch
I
her
remember that.
sermons. Watch her sermons. These lyrics are lifted from her sermons.
That's amazing.
Because
Total plagiarism on my part.
I think at the time, I was tuned into the media stuff, but not as much as my wife, and I was like, well, what's up with this like team of doctors? They say this, and this, and she was like, you gotta see this shit that this lady is saying. I was like, oh, okay. So I remember when all that stuff happened. So it makes total sense now. That's incredible. That
was a catchy tune, Herman.
Like I said, I cannot get it out of my head.
Hey, that's cumbia. That's what cumbia darks does. It invades your soul.
Obviously, the most uncomfortable part of it is, I chop it, I cut it, I cut it.
This is from Stella Emanuel's sermon, because she's saying you have to chop the demon. You have to chop it. She says this. You have to. I need to share this video with you. This is on YouTube. I follow her channel.
There's actually,
okay.
There's a way to. There's actually a way to find that stuff. Actually, I could probably pull it up, but I don't know if I can do that right now.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, she has a bunch of sermons, and she has like she has her church or whatever temple, whatever she calls it. I don't know, but like she's an actual minister somewhere in Texas. It's like, yeah, and she's really popular.
It's crazy, like to find, to think that people are like, oh yeah, this woman knows what she's saying, et cetera, and then all of a sudden you find all this stuff.
Well, Jim Jones, right?
True.
They drank the Kool-Aid.
Sure did. Yeah, and these serpents are drinking a lot of it too.
Yeah. Don't fall asleep.
No.
1, 2 serpents coming for you.
Another serpent wants more. 5, 6 in the top of your. All right. I think Frank's drinking the Kool-Aid tonight. He's talking about
look at Frank.
Sex with Stevens is real.
I think we have a convert.
Yeah.
My cult.
I think he joined our cult.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Frank's all about cults. He loves it.
He's the cult master.
Hello, Lalo. This is our drummer saying
hello.
Lalo. Oh, okay. Awesome.
How are you?
He'll see you tomorrow. Yeah.
We're hanging out tomorrow.
Nice. That's awesome. So I just want to make sure if people want to check out the videos again, like you said, you haven't been too active on Instagram, but it is up there. Maybe you'll kind of get a little more going on Instagram.
I just don't understand Instagram. I'm too old. It's like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, why would I have videos that disappear? And then, where do I put this and where do I put that?
You can definitely utilize it and link it to Facebook and stuff. So it's just like the program that you use to create the videos. The more that you mess around with it, I think you'll be comfortable with it.
I think what I really need is a 13-year-old to like give me some tutoring on that.
This is the way to do it, man.
Yeah, that's not a bad route.
So the YouTube is the easiest, and then also if they want to, it's the same on Facebook as Quarantine Videoz. The easiest way to find you, and then if they want to check out what's going on with Invading Species and hopefully more in the future. And I think people need to know that they can find your music on a good amount of music platforms.
On all of them. All of them. All of the digital ones. Yeah.
Awesome.
Stuff off of iTunes only because I know it may not be the best. People are like, dude, don't pay for that. Like, go to this and go to that. I'm like, no, it's like, it's easy for me. I like to do it. So
don't do Spotify because those are the slave traders, like slave runners. Slave traders. I don't know what I'm talking about. but like if you just download it from like iTunes, I think we do get paid something.
Sweet.
Okay. I did iTunes. That's how I roll. So. We always do. Actually, I want to ask you one last thing. Pretty much, I think the motivation for myself with doing the Crush, Kill, Destroy stuff, and Corey and I have talked about this a number of times. Is first that it's when the name came to me and I decided to go forward with the t-shirts and mottos and stickers and whatnot. It felt right to me, and it was to be presented in a positive light. And then I started to do the Crush Corner, and I wanted to connect with people doing positive stuff, and just trying to. It was heightened by COVID and pandemic and quarantine and all this stuff. And I was like, fuck, man, like we need to talk to some people like getting through all this stuff and doing some cool shit creatively in any way. And I've said it before that a lot of people go, oh, I'm not a creative person, but these were people that were working in all sorts of industries, and it was whatever it was, the healthcare place. It's like they had to grasp on to this creative aspect of their life to get through each day, whatever little thing it was that made them put another foot in front of the other to get through the fucking day. So I wanted to. There's a Crush Kill Destroy shirt on the website that is a ripoff of the Black Flag logo. So many people have done it, and I decided, like, fuck it.
Why not?
I'll do it until
I won't care.
Till I get a cease and desist. Fuck it, I'll do it. So within the Black Flag logo, there's 4 different faces of like a smiling Buddha, an angry Buddha, an upset or whatever. And instead of Black Flag, it says true self on it, which is which can mean a couple of different things to different people, but because it's a Black Flag inspired thing, I thought it was appropriate for. We've been talking about punk music and whatnot, and I think as an artist in the yourself, creating music, creating the videos, and do you feel like when you play music with the band, or you take the time to make these videos because you're by yourself, Javier is helping you, and you're relaxed, you're having a good time, is that, playing out in the band, gigging with those guys, doing the videos, is that a place or a platform to express yourself honestly and to be like the best version or the true version of yourself when everything kind of falls to the wayside and you're out there and you're rocking out, or you're making the videos and you're laughing? Is that, do you think that that's your true self, so to speak?
Absolutely. Especially because I'm not getting paid for it. So when you do something out of sheer love, out of sheer, because I'm not going to do something for free that I hate, or that doesn't feel real.
Right.
We get paid for the things that we do that we hate, like work.
Exactly. Like, I already get paid to do like the artificial stuff.
I'm like you. I'm in that same vein. Same thing.
Absolutely. So the things that I do in my spare time that I'm not getting paid for, hey, if I got paid for it, I would love it even more. I wouldn't complain. Sure. But yeah, absolutely. That is me. That's me. That's the real Taína.
Nice.
That's awesome. I definitely appreciate that.
I'm silly as hell at my job. Either way, you can ask my co-workers. And I will not introduce you to them, but but if you were to meet them someday and it just came up in conversation, oh, I know that girl. Wait, she's silly as fuck. I'm pretty much the same person anyway. But
yeah, well, watching the quarantine videos, like I said, I definitely gravitated towards it because I know the time that I spent myself making ridiculous stuff. So I was like, oh man, and actually watching them and saying like, wait, I recognize that kind of effect, the behind the scenes things, like what the software that you're using. So I was curious about
or the effects and the transitions. Like I really like the house is sold.
Oh yeah. Nice. It's a lot of time to put into something that you just really, really enjoy. You can do a 30-second video and it could take you an hour, 2-3 hours to put it together.
Yeah.
Never mind doing something that's over 2 or 3 minutes long. A lot of people don't understand the time that it takes to edit and put that stuff together. Absolutely.
My videos take, even though they are on average 1 minute, it usually takes, conception can take weeks. like, you know, coming up with the idea and massaging it. But actually shooting the video and editing takes 2 to 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's just a minute video.
That's wild.
Super awesome. So I'm gonna.
But I love every minute.
Yeah, that's great.
Speaking of putting videos together and editing, I'm gonna do a little promo for Crush Kill Destroy that was put together recently, and then if you can stick around with us, we're gonna do some trivia and give some free shit.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And can I?
Yeah. That's what's up. All right, cool. We got 20 minutes before Mike Tyson takes the ring, so let's do some trivia.
Mike.
Can I say one thing? I want to do a shameless plug.
Please.
So Javier just came out with this.
Oh,
Ooh, what you got?
It's he bought a synthesizer and he's been like beating the shit out of it, making really good music. So I highly recommend that you check it out.
You guys,
Fabricated.
did you have
Nice.
did you have I recognize the photo. Was it on the Invading Species Facebook page?
I believe I may have shared it on my own page.
Okay, I did see a post and I wasn't sure what it was, so that's awesome. I'll check it out. So is that something we can find on digital format on YouTube or anything yet? Or
Javier. Well, he left. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you can. But if you want the real thing,
All right.
I'm all about the physical having something like that. That's awesome. Cool. We'll definitely keep an eye out for it. That is super cool. All right, so we are going to do some of our end of the night video, and I'm going to give some free shit away because that's what I like to do.
You do.
I do, and I'm actually going to do. I have a couple of I have like 6 questions, and sometimes it gets a little confusing with trying to figure out what people want. If they want a t-shirt or this, so what you're going to get is a surprise mystery package in the mail. So you can answer trivia, and then I get your contact, and I send some shit out to you for free.
Man, so that is a home run.
That is a home run. I'm going to start. I based this this trivia on. Let's see, where am I here?
It was very creative of you, I must say.
Why, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We are going to do, and I think Taína, you'll appreciate this too.
Yeah, I believe you will.
6 questions that if I could find all my stuff here. Okay, 6 questions that are going to be
about
invasive species, primarily in the U.S. So we're gonna go. This is for you guys hanging out with us and still watching. We're gonna do. I just need the name of the. It can be an insect, an animal, a plant, a this, or that, an invasive species. And I even have some. It was actually kind of neat for me because I had to do some research, and I was like, "No shit, huh?"
Yeah, that was the same way reading some of these. I'm like, "Wow,
yeah, right?"
Look at that.
So we have the first trivia question, and I always encourage people
murder hornets. No,
for sure on the list. Come on.
It's not on mine, but that's a really good one. They're so new, you know. I went with some classic shit. So so the first question is, we'll put this up here for everyone to see and make sure I got all my stuff together, because obviously things get a little jumble after a couple of beers, but you know. All right. And this was, I remember this too, not from the 1800s. I'm not telling. Name the invasive insect first found in the U.S. in the 1800s that fed on and destroyed various trees. And I think a good hint for this is that I remember this as well, I think in the 80s we saw it, right, Corey?
Yes.
They kind of came back.
Mhm.
And the biggest thing is that every, as a kid, and like we'd come up on the trees and we're like, oh my God, what the fuck is that?
Yep.
The name's a little deceiving because we picture them as not necessarily what they look like in the picture compared to the Jeff gets
Sorry, Jeff.
they're not
Sorry,
termites.
Nicole.
And actually this, you know what, this when I looked it up, they were brought over here by a Frenchman who lived in Massachusetts. I think he brought some to study, a handful of these things.
Really? Do you have his name?
Leopold Trouvelot.
Let's go slap him.
Slap him up.
So he brought him to Massachusetts in the early 1800s, and they were super destructive in to the trees. They were feeding on the trees, destroying all sorts of different trees. They didn't gravitate towards any one kind of tree.
Google.
He's the culprit responsible for bringing this type of insect to the U.S. And they were big. They were big for a while. Like I said, in the 80s, I remember it. You still see them today. They're not as crazy, but they were eating trees, and they actually, as a hint, they kind of were like cute, fuzzy caterpillars.
Yep.
They were, which kind of throws off the name, and they were like, if they were humans, they would probably travel in a van all over the place.
Yeah. So see, yeah, it doesn't take long with the Google. It really doesn't.
It doesn't take long to Google.
I just did it. I just took what's on the screen and I'm there. I got answers.
I'm not gonna cheat.
Ash borer? No.
Nope.
No.
They're I can say, Mike guessed Japanese beetles are not. So
No.
when people that are close to our age too, because it was a thing for some reason, like I said, the 80s, it was like, oh my God, they're eating all the fucking leaves in the trees and shit.
The flathead beetle, Paul. No. Oh, Herman.
Yeah, there you go.
Woo! Bravo.
Yay!
Yay.
Got it.
I would have
Yes.
never guessed that. I would have never guessed that.
Oh, okay. No, all right. So
I was in Puerto Rico in the 80s, so I've got an excuse.
number 2. This one's actually kind of funny.
This is funny.
Known as the I think it's Haley-morpha or Haley's. These little brown critters shouldn't be crushed, or else you'll be asked who dealt it. I think Jeff Coleman would actually appreciate this because he's always talking about farts and stuff.
Whoa.
So yeah, thank you. Herman does remember that from the 80s. So before she's went. So this one's pretty easy. I see these fuckers actually all over the place, and I learned that
they were everywhere, Herman.
And I learned that these were they're not really like, I thought that that they
Nicole.
Oh, Nicole got it. Okay, yeah, she got it. Yeah, stink bugs.
Ding ding.
Ding, 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 ding.
Bravo.
All right, number 3. Let's see, where are we here? Okay, this one's funny actually. They're all pretty good. Almost as much trouble as drunk tourists on Bourbon Street. What invasive creature lurks in NOLA and beyond? And this is crazy. Like, I didn't really realize this until I'm talking to a couple of people, and it's pretty wacky actually. Frank said reptilians. Oh, fuckers everywhere. No, that's not right. Frank said
wow. We literally went off the rails here with this question. Come on, Frank. Insectoids. Frank.
They are. I got to get this back on here. I'm screwing all this stuff up here.
What?
There we go.
What about
so
Nicole? What are we talking about?
Ava? This is so crazy. Like, so Mark the barber was down. He was down in New Orleans, and he was on a boat ride, like a river thing, and he was like, "Yeah, man, these things are like they're coming up to the edge of the river, and they're like snorting and trying to get food, and they've actually I think
they're meth alligators.
the meth alligators. No, they're not meth.
No, but I want to see the meth alligators like right now.
They went from Florida to New Orleans.
I'll give you the they are spreading across.
Not a boll weevil, Frank.
They've spread to 64 Louisiana parishes, about 30 states now, most of them in the South. They started popping up in far-flung patches of Washington, Michigan, Vermont. In Louisiana, they numbered around 700,000, more than combined human populations of New Orleans and Baton Rouge, which is
not rats, Herman.
And I actually forgot, but if you guys haven't seen them, the gypsy moths,
there they are.
The stink bugs, and I have oh wow, okay, we're not gonna do that.
No, we won't do that.
But yeah, this one's it's not. If you look up NOLA invasive species, it's not that hard, guys. It's pretty fun. It's actually really funny. Like Mike said, termites.
Not termites.
So I would say it's not an insect. If they wanted to,
I can throw out some silly hints.
If they wanted to utilize it, maybe they would, they would probably increase their sales on the snacking in the Dunkin' Donuts drive-through.
Oh man. Oh God. Come on.
Did you look this one up, Corey, or no?
Yeah, it's not hard. I mean, it's right there. We got Frank boll weevil.
A boll weevil.
No,
it's not a gator. It's not a I'll give you a hint.
Millennials. She is correct.
Hey,
correct.
There you go.
They're an invasive species too. That's all, folks. That's my hit.
Roadrunners?
No, that's Meep Meep.
Oh, got
it. Come on, guys.
No, it wasn't hard. I'm here. I'm seeing. Yeah.
Javier said politics, but it's not.
No.
This is
politics.
It was actually really bizarre. I couldn't believe it.
All right. So we're talking about something with 4 legs.
True. Yeah, not muscle.
We'll start there for everyone.
Yeah, 4 legs.
Mike, thank you.
It's not a bad guess.
It's a killer rabbit.
Not a bad guess because there are some common rabbits.
You're getting there now, though. You're going in the direction by rabbit. No, not eels. Nope, because I don't think I've seen one with 4 legs.
It's kind of fuzzy.
Frank, no.
You're
a little late, Frank.
It looks like kind of looks like my Boston Terrier. Probably smells as bad as my Boston Terrier.
Can I say it? I'm just gonna say it. We ready?
Do
we need a really, really provocative hint?
I could do a hint right here.
All right, do it. Ooh, that was quick.
I'll give you a hint.
It's not a rodent.
That's not a rodent? Javali? How do you say javali in English?
A weevil. It's not a weevil. It's
not a weevil.
Not a bug.
Javali.
Not a naked cat.
How do you say javali in English?
It's
no, Jeff.
I think it's the other white meat. Yeah, Corey?
Yeah.
Pig. A pig? Just a pig? Regular pig?
No, I don't know what's Frank talking about.
Frank is all over the place because he.
Well, so Herman said the boar first, but Mike said pig. So yeah, they're feral pigs that are like, they're destroying like all the sugar cane and stuff in Louisiana. It's fucking ridiculous. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, they're hogs. It rhymes with blog. That's what I was gonna say.
Hogs that rhymes with blogs. Okay, moving on. Crazy
4 legs rhymes with blog.
These Asian water thugs now occupy some of the major bodies of water throughout the U.S. I wrote this myself, and I just saw Asian water thugs. And by the way, here's the last guy. He was the
there it is, feral hog.
Yeah,
they run rampant,
but yeah,
like rats.
I couldn't believe that they're all over the place. So, Jeff said, "Don't pet them, or else they'll bite you."
That's right.
So this one is, obviously bodies of water. That should be a given.
Yeah, that's a good start.
I couldn't believe this either. It's so crazy. Like, it says
the Pumbaa. No,
they're fast growing. They're prolific feeders. They outcompete native fish, and they leave a trail of environmental destruction in their wake. Four types of this found in the U.S. imported to the country. They were used in aquaculture ponds.
They're badass.
So they're fish. They're fish.
They're fish. It's not Hawaiian fish.
See, yeah.
That's
I'm really
intuitive of you.
like that.
You put it all together.
Yep.
You are correct, though.
It's a something fish.
Herman went there with a fish. That's good.
He did.
Now everyone should be thinking that way.
All right, I'm putting some Invading Species on. I'll get ready. Tyson fight.
I don't know any type of fish. A clownfish.
Well, I can say.
Good guess.
No, Nemo is not quite invasive yet.
He kept swimming. He just kept swimming.
He did.
It's an Asian water thug.
The Asian water thug.
The karate fish.
And
there you go.
It's crazy because they found
MMA.
The MMA fish.
the jujitsu fish. It's like
the jujitsu fish.
The rear naked choke.
Yeah, rear naked choke. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what's up. Let's go.
I read about these, and they found them in like I think there is some in like I don't know if it was freshwater stuff. Actually, I'm not sure.
Really?
They're just it's so crazy, dude. All right, guys. They look like
no clue.
They look similar to koi almost. They almost sound like could be koi, but it's not koi.
I mean, again, if we want to do the word association thing,
you could do word association.
You know, it rhymes with harp.
It rhymes with harp.
Harp?
Ooh.
I got it?
Oh, you did. And Herman did too.
Oh, fuck yeah.
We're giving this to...
Give it to Herman. He got it. He got it.
Yeah, straight edge right there. Woo!
Herman got some. You already got some. I'm going to send you stuff for hanging out with us tonight anyway, so I'll do that. All right, so we have we're on the grind, Tim. Flarp, Nicole Simmons.
Flarp.
Flarp. I love this one too. What Slytherin fools are messing with Florida's ecosystem? Slytherin fools. This is crazy. Like
this is big time.
Looking this stuff up, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like,
this is like feral pigs in NOLA.
Yeah, there is a time delay, I believe, but like I said, I do the best I can with giving stuff away. But whatever I see first on my end is who wins it.
Come on now, Florida slithering.
Close. Not a boa.
Leeches?
No,
that's a good guess though. But Herman's definitely on track with this one.
He is.
Just got to get a little more specific. They are. They've got a breeding population in South Florida. They're in the Everglades. In the Everglades, they're like fucking up the Everglades.
Yeah, dude, it's bad. That was in the news.
Was
Tom
it really?
Brady.
I didn't realize
what? What are we doing? Okay, Herman's back.
Herman's killing it. He got it. It's a Burmese.
Yay!
Yeah. Nice job.
Herman,
yeah, they're bad. I mean, seriously, the other day there was something in the news where they were extracting one from someone's yard, man. I mean, this thing, I think it was like 7 feet, and it was just
Come on.
like hundreds of pounds. Yeah, they're all they just show up like alligators down there. But
So
the pythons
crazy.
are. And what I read was that I guess people, what they're doing is they're literally just their pets that people are putting out in the wild, and they mate, and then all of a sudden there's an issue.
Look at
It's
these carp.
crazy.
These carp are they're like a gang. Look at these motherfuckers, man.
Look at them, man. They're coming at you.
Do they taste good?
I don't know.
Oh, look at Herman. Just referenced somebody in Miami got a problem with those pythons. Yeah, look at that.
So this is it, guys. Our final question for the night.
Oh,
I personally like this one. It's funny.
it is.
Not to be confused with the crusty crab. This aggressive and resilient. I picked this one for you, Taina. This
Oh my God. I'm
aggressive-
not going to get it.
aggressive
This is so
and
humiliating.
resilient
No.
New Yorker has been taking over aquatic neighborhoods. It's such a bully, which is so weird. Like doing this research, I was like, what the fuck is that? So they're larger size and aggressive nature. They got introduced to bodies of water in New York, but they're in bigger places now. So they prey on other fish. They're typically not as big as this, but they now are. I forget where they came from, and they're not the usual size of these things. Don't fight back to anything, but this particular breed is fighting back, so it's causing. They're basically pushing other fish out into different areas of bodies of water that can't survive, so it's fucking up the ecosystem. It's so weird. And
Have they appeared on the New York subway?
No, they weren't on the
Maybe.
subway. They could have been on the subway.
But it would have only been there if somebody brought it from somewhere else
These guys, they did. I
in the
forget
country.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
This one I didn't look
We've
up.
had sharks on trains.
Yes.
This one I didn't look
That
up
was in the
the
Koi,
history.
was that koi? What did he say?
Koi?
Cockroach?
I
Is that
think
what
Frank.
Frank
I think Frank's on YouTube, so he's like got a little lag in time. He's a little behind.
Ah,
This is actually not a bad guess. You could say it's a cockroach of the waters, or this.
Well, water bugs have always existed in New York, so it can't be that.
These guys are
Crabs.
close.
What's another word for crab?
These guys are more. They act. It's crazy because it's New York, but they actually make me think of like New Orleans or something like that. And they have been.
Crawfish?
This is that's. You're like a letter off from the actual term.
You are.
Oh my
these
God.
guys.
you're a letter off. And actually, Jim, I was thinking, didn't we like go somewhere like streams around growing up and looking for these little suckers? Not this particular one.
There was a so they are lobsters, aren't they? Crawfish.
Well, I think you could qualify them as a crustacean.
It's a crustacean, but and actually I didn't realize this for a long time, that there's a distinction between crawfish and this. And Herman's killing it. It's a crayfish, yeah.
Crayfish.
You got it.
I would have never thought of that.
They're usually pretty small, and these guys are actually much bigger, so they're pushing stuff out. So this is Tracy, and this means
What's up,
this means that my daughter has probably woken up, and she said, "Jeff with the pink shoes." It's all about Jeff Coleman. So she may be awake at this point.
She also saw the picture with the fish and really liked it.
She did see that. So that's awesome.
Rooster River, that's it. Herman, man, you nailed it.
Yeah, the Rooster River.
Herman he has like a PhD in invasive species.
Yes.
So he's gonna, and actually, Herman is gonna come and he's gonna chat with us in 2 weeks, and he's a huge fan, a huge music fan, and also he hosts a very late night radio show here in Bridgeport on WPKN. He's got a super eclectic taste. He and I went to high school together, so I think that introducing him to Invading Species, he's really going to appreciate that stuff. So I will make sure that he takes a listen.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
So this was
Spread the word.
awesome. Super
Invade the
cool.
world.
Yeah, there we go.
That's it.
Like like those crawfish.
Yeah. The number one top invasive species, humans. No.
For sure. For sure.
But,
They're everywhere, those motherfuckers.
they are those motherfuckers.
Destroying whole habitats.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Crush the world, destroy it all. Taína, I can't thank you enough for taking time to do this. Tell Javier as well, thank you for allowing you
Absolutely.
to spend some time with us and chat about some cool stuff. I appreciate everything you're doing in your creativity, and I hope that next year for all of us is a little lighter and a little easier, and that we can come out of our holes and play some music and create some stuff for people in real life, and that it's just a better time for all of us. So
hopefully, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Exactly.
Keep doing what you're doing. Keep making people laugh, and
yeah, because it's great. It's awesome.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much for inviting me. I really appreciate it. I was super excited. I know that when I got this invitation, but 2 months ago or something, and I've been so stoked about it. So thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely. The all the Crush Corner videos get saved onto my YouTube channel, which I actually didn't make a post about. Bye, Javier. But I think they save to the Facebook page as well, so people can go back. I know a lot of friends that can't take time on a Saturday night to watch them, and it's nice because people reach out and they say, "Oh, yeah, I went back and I watched that episode. It was awesome." So it's always nice to hear. So
Cool.
so
I'll make sure to share it.
yeah, please do.
Shameless
Corey.
plug of myself in an interview.
Absolutely, Corey. Got any final thoughts, Corey?
No, I mean, like you said, I'm looking forward to seeing your band play live. That show that Jimmy referenced, the Lucky 13 show, was actually August 3rd is my daughter's birthday.
Oh,
and I was gonna go, and I'm always notorious for looking for a window to jump through when the opportunity presents itself.
yeah.
But it was 10:30 that night, and I was texting Jimmy back and forth, and they were getting ready to go on, all this other stuff. So to drive to Brooklyn from Connecticut didn't seem like it made the most sense. But yeah, I love the music. Like Jimmy said earlier, it's very nostalgic to see, just the little mosh pits and just, what it was like growing up, trying to just get your head around that kind of music, because it was such an underground thing. As Jeff knows, Jimmy, the Anthrax was a place we went to. Got that experience, and just to listen to the music, and you're awesome live. Like that show from Tompkins Square Park was just incredible. It was 11 minutes of just shredding. It was just fantastic. So best of luck with all of that with you guys.
Yeah. Corey's been really instrumental in pushing me to see a lot of shows, especially in New York. He's got a knack for making things happen with limited time and crazy ideas. It could be 7, 8 o'clock at night here, at home, and he's like, there's this band playing in this really obscure bar in Brooklyn in 2 hours. I think if we go this way, we can make it, and somehow manages to make it. We've seen a bunch of shows on the Rocks Off boat in the harbor. We've seen stuff.
Oh wow, yeah.
We've seen stuff in Brooklyn. We've seen stuff in Central Park, and we somehow managed to get out there and just make it in the nick of time, rock out, get some beer and some wings, and head back home. And it's it never happened. We're like, whoa! So we definitely we love it.
Absolutely. Yes, hopefully we can get rid of all this chaos and get down there and see you guys rock out. Bring King Sexy down, do some fun stuff again. Yeah.
Get some beers together.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Some cold ones.
Sounds very cool.
Cheers to you guys. Let's go see what Mike Tyson's up to.
Yeah. Woo!
Thank you, Taína.
Bye. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. It's been fun.
Stay safe. Keep making videos, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sure. Yeah.